Hello, everyone, and welcome to our November Hope Session, Hidden Gems, Finding the Gifts of Presence.
Thanks so much, Heidi, and it's wonderful to be with the Arts and Healing Initiative again. And thank you all for joining us this morning, or it may be afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever the case may be. Thank you for being here. This workshop, Hidden Gems, Finding the Gifts of Present, is really about kind of stemmed from my own experience where I feel that, and this may be true for you as well, that we are rushing around. There's lots of information coming at us at all times, and we're very busy, and we may miss things, and we may not recognize the things that are small blessings, the things that could bring us joy, a smile to our faces. And so this workshop is about kind of exploring the practice of discovering the hidden gifts in our daily encounters and situations and uncovering insight and illumination from beneath the surface and kind of recalibrating our radar towards finding joy to decrease our chances of missing those things that could just bring some light to our day. So just to give you an overview of what the next 90 minutes will look like, I'm going to have a little opening inquiry and activity, and then we'll get right into SoulCollage and make a SoulCollage card. I'll direct you through that process, and we will journal with the card. I have a few other little things to share with you, and then we'll do another activity with that same card, and then we will close out, and I will lead you through like a guided visualization. So that's what this time together will look like. There will be opportunities to share only if you choose to, either by voice or by chat box throughout. And I just ask that we abide by the CARES guidelines. And let me put those up for you. And the CARES agreements are confidentiality, that we are free to speak about our own experience, but we agree not to share what is shared here with those outside of this space without their agreement. Acceptance, and that's accepting each other without criticism or judgment, and that includes in accepting yourself. And especially with SoulCollage, a lot of people feel that they're not an artist. I believe that we're all artists. But you can let go of those types of concerns. There is no way to do it wrong. Respect, and just that we celebrate diversity and allow for differences in culture, process, opinion, and style. Empathy, holding our own work and the work of each other's very gently with compassion. And then finally, support. If we offer feedback, we ask that it be positive and just include encouragement and wisdom. So having said that, I'd like to have us do our first activity, and I would just ask you to write down 3 sentences of things that as you scan your day, your week, the month ahead, next couple of months, some obligations or commitments that maybe you're not particularly looking forward to, but you're going to have to do them. Not too heavy for the purposes of this workshop. So for example, I'm going to be putting down that I have to go to the dentist, not looking forward to that. So those types of things. So 3 sentences of things that I have to do. So just write, I have to, etc. So just a few moments for that. And just a few more moments. And so now, just to go back into those sentences and cross out the word have and place the word get. And after you've done that, just read back through those sentences. Maybe take a deep breath and just scan those sentences to see if you're experiencing a shift, maybe just a slight change in perspective. For me, I get to go to the dentist changes my attitude a bit about going to the dentist, that I have the ability to go, the opportunity to go. My grandfather down in Mississippi, he only went to the dentist when something hurt. There just weren't those opportunities, but I have the opportunity to go ahead of time for preventative care. And it's not going to hurt that bad. They have anesthesia and numbing these days. They didn't have that in the past. So, I'm not overjoyed about going, but I do feel now that it's something I get to do, and it shifts my attitude towards it a bit. And so I'm wondering, I'd love to hear, maybe we have time for a few, or you could place those in the chat box. Um, what you have to do, but now you see that you get to do it, and what is your experience of that? Is that changing your mindset about that task? So feel free, if you'd like, to raise your digital hand or your physical hand, or you can place something in the chat box if you'd like to share something. I see Hillary. I get to organize my studio, and it makes her feel lighter and full of optimism and possibility about how this space could work for me better. Beautiful. Thank you, Hillary. Kelsey says, I get to do my homework for my writers group. Changing have to get reminded me that I love my writers group. Beautiful. Wendy gets to do paperwork, an opportunity for clarity. Lovely. And Christina, I get to attend my mentor coaching session. It will be a space for receiving feedback and learning. Anik, I feel like a weight lifted from pressure and resistance to opportunity. Beautiful. A sense of which one is the priority. Healing from surgery and COVID. Christina. Beautiful. So I just love that exercise. I see Stevie, I get to follow up on my car repairs, changes my perspective that I still have a car and will be able to drive myself again. I will be okay. And then also Leandra, I get to do my therapy notes, gratitude for the work I do and appreciating time to reflect on clients. And also, she had to get to go to the dentist, grateful for the privilege of capable providers and being able to afford it. Jessica, I experienced a sense of gratitude, realized that it is easy to take things for granted. Thank you so much. That is just such an easy, simple thing to do, is just to change those things. I see Cindy with unpacking and laundry. Um, I have to clean up a guest room for visitors. I get to clean up a guest room for visitors. So just that shift can change our attitudes to finding the hidden gems, the little blessings that exist in our daily lives. So thanks so much for participating in that. What I'd like to do now is go ahead and jump right in to SoulCollage and tell you a little bit about that. I know we have a range of experience levels, but I will go over it just so that everyone can just have a chance to learn about what this method entails. And so, Soul Collage is an expressive arts method and it's for self discovery and self awareness. It uses the three I's: imagination, intuition, and images to help us access, explore, embrace, and learn from the innate wisdom that exists within us all. And I also use it to enhance and access creativity. It was developed by Sina Frost, who is a psychotherapist. And the premise is that by being open to the wisdom within, we can become more aware of our gifts and strengths and celebrate them, and also of areas that we might consider to be blind spots that we might want to have some growth in. And the premise also is that we are attracted to images that mirror what's inside of us and that may have a message for us. And putting them on cards in an intuitive way allows us access and through a right brain route to our own inner wisdom and insight. Cards, um, ultimately, you could make a lot of cards. I have about 200 or so, and I have a unique, entirely original deck of cards that reflect my own personality, my community, themes, topics, subject matters that I'm specifically interested in and want to explore, and images that are striking to you in some way and that may serve you somehow. I'll share a few of my cards. And so you can see that they aren't just, kind of simple, three or four images, and very playful in terms of your approach to it, not really agonizing over it or evaluating it. The goal is not necessarily to make a pretty card, a card that looks great. It's more a tool for your own process and evaluation. Sometimes people ask me, why is there a focus on 5 by 8 cards? And it's because, first of all, the vision boards, which I love to do vision boards, but they're usually much larger. And so you're less inclined to make those on a regular basis. The 5 by 8 also requires us to make some choices and to get to the essence of something. So sometimes less is more, essentially. And so we have to choose. We can't put 10 images on a small card. We can put 3 or so, maybe 5 at the most. And that allows us to really, it offers a rich experience in terms of working with the card. Let's see, any other questions? Sometimes people ask me about words, about placing words on cards, as you might do in a vision board where you could live your best life and go girl and things like that. But you avoid placing words because we want to focus in on the images and allow them to speak. And as you'll see, we speak through the images rather than about them. And I'll guide you in that process. So that is kind of the overview, a very brief overview of Soul Collage. And I want to just open it up to see if there's any questions before we delve into making a card today. So, any questions that are arising for anyone? Okay, so it sounds like none right now. Feel free to, if there are any that come up, feel free to jump in and I'm happy to answer your questions. And so let's go ahead now to the fun part and make a card. So hopefully you have 5 or 6 primary images, and those would be people, objects, or animals. They could also be aspects of nature, so a rock, for example, a river. And then hopefully you also have some larger background settings. So those might be nature settings, the interiors of a home, or even patterns like a paisley pattern that could serve as a background. And so taking your primary images for now and setting your background images to the side, flip through the selection that you brought with you today and choose the one that is calling to be worked with. So all of these images appeal to you, but one would like to be worked with right now. And try not to overthink it, really feel into it, which one is calling to be worked with. The others could be used at another time. And just give me a thumbs up when you have that primary image. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Jennifer. Gonna see Amy, thank you. Some thumbs up. Thank you, Elise and Stevie, Christina and Leandra, thank you. So just a few more moments to select that primary image. Don't worry about what you're going to do with it yet or how it's going to look. Try to let go of all of those. And I know it is difficult in this world. We're constantly evaluating and judging and assessing, but try to just choose something. All right, sounds good. So then go ahead and take that image and cut it away from the background that it appears on. It might be on an advertisement or something. Cut it away from that. I'm going to liberate it from that background and it will have eventually a new home. And now once you have your primary image, go ahead and take your backgrounds, the stack of backgrounds that you brought with you, and hold that image up to the different backgrounds. And again, just feel into what resonates. Does that image want to go on this particular background? Hold it up against different ones and see where it wants to land. It'll let you know. And we're not trying to be real matchy. So if you have, for example, a picture of someone lifting weights, you're not like, oh, I have a gym background, so let's put that person there. You're not being matchy. You're being very just what calls to you. Where does it want to go? And then once you've decided on your primary image and the background that it's going to appear on, feel free to look back through the other images that you brought. And maybe there might be something small or some other item that you feel also might go with this that feels like it wants to be in this collage as well. And in terms of finding additional images, you primarily want to stay with the same energy. So, for example, if you have a picture of a child who's very happy and you're going to have their background, whatever it is, and then you have a person who looks unhappy, you wouldn't necessarily put those on the same card. You want to maintain the same energy, which allows us to work more easily with the card. And a person who's unhappy would have their own card. So, just kind of keeping the same energy as you make your collage. And I see Jessica, I think, has a question. Feel free to unmute. Okay, that was by mistake. No problem. So now what you're doing, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do this, is to put the whole collage together. You have your primary figure, you have a background, and maybe you're finding one or two, maybe just one or two supporting images, we'll call them, that also may want to go onto the collage somehow. And then once you've figured out what elements you want to use for the collage, you can go ahead and glue your background down and then glue those images on top. And so we'll have about 10 minutes, so 36 after the hour. You'll have that time to work on that. And so now that you have your brand new SoulCollage card, I'd like to invite you to allow it to introduce itself. And so what we are basically asking the primary image, so focusing on the primary image now, that would be the person, animal, or object, we're going to kind of step into the primary image and become it. So as we write, we're going to speak from its perspective and from its place there. So we'll begin with the prompt, I am one who. So you could write that out, I am one who, and then allow it to speak, speaking as if you are that particular image, the primary image. So you could write one sentence, one or two sentences, I am one who, that begin with that. And then you might ask it to tell you, you might ask it, what gift or message do you have for me? And maybe a couple of sentences in response to that. Again, speaking from the image's perspective, not about the image, but more from its perspective. Any questions about that? Feel free to jump in if you have any questions about that. And starting to find a place where you can bring that current sentence to a close for now. And I love to see, because it's just amazing, the present Lisa, it's just amazing, the process. What I hold on to your card, we're going to return to it. What I'd like to do is share with you a few things that we see all the time. And see if you notice anything about these things. So this is the Baskin-Robbins logo. Does anyone notice anything about that? Anything interesting?
Looks like 31.
Exactly. So you see the 31 in pink there. When I was little, they had 31 flavors. They probably have a million now. But so you see that 31 embedded in there. Thank you. And then this is FedEx. Does anyone see anything there?
The arrow between the E and the X.
Exactly. Wonderful. I hadn't seen that until like someone pointed it out to me. And then this is Tostitos.
There's people in a taco.
Exactly. And a little bowl of salsa. The little red is the salsa there. Yeah, I had never noticed that as well. And then this is Ray-Ban. See anything there? If you look, the B is actually like a pair of sunglasses turned up to the side. A little more subtle. And this is the Tour de France.
Bicycle.
The bicycle, and the R is a person on there.
Oh yeah.
And And then this is the Bronx Zoo.
The buildings and their legs.
Right. The skyline of New York is there under their legs.
Oh.
Exactly. Hershey's Kisses. So between the K and the I is a Hershey's Kiss turned on its side. Just a couple more. This is the London Symphony Orchestra. What do you see there?
LSO.
The LSO, but also, absolutely, but also a conductor. Christina put it in the chat. There's a conductor. They have the baton on the, or whatever they call that, the baton, and then their other hand is curled up like they're conducting. And the final one, Toblerone. I'm a chocolate lover, so I love this one.
There's a bear, no, a wolf.
Yes, it's a bear. You're right. It's a bear. They're in the mountain, like it's standing on its hind legs, and that is for the city, the Swiss city where Toblerone is made. Is the bear is their official animal. Thank you for that. So I showed you those not to get you obsessed with pointing out logos for things that are getting you to buy things, but more to kind of see if we can apply that same level of detail, that same level of looking and noticing and wonder to, what are we, going around so busy, what are we missing? What little things that could bring us joy are we missing? What little joys, what little instances of kindness, little magical moments that we could take delight in, or that could enrich our experience of life. And so instead of missing the little things, we could choose to be fully present, not ruminating over the past, not projecting into the future, but more tuning in to see and notice the things that can bring contentment and ease and delight. And so to start to develop that muscle of seeing with new eyes, with a different focus, a different filter. So having done that, I'm going to ask you to take your SoulCollage card that you just made again and focus now on an aspect of it that you didn't write from. So you may have written from the primary image or a smaller image. Maybe you might want to write from the background itself. Maybe there's another image that you placed on there that you want to explore. So writing from a different image, I'm going to invite you to write a letter. I'm going to put up a prompt. An unexpected letter is what I call this, from your background or a supporting image that you did not work with in the last activity. And you might consider beginning with any of these sentence starters here. What I've wanted to tell you is, or I'd like you to know how I feel about, or this one I love, my presence is to remind you. So choosing another element of your card, maybe something in the background. We'll have about 10 minutes to write a letter to yourself from that image. And again, feel free to jump in or place in the chat box any question that you may have about this. And about 1 more minute. I'm starting to find a place where you can bring the current sentence to a close for now. So I'd love to hear if there's anyone that would like to share what came from that exercise of writing from the position of some other unexpected aspect of your card. I see Maria.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is my picture.
Mhm. Lovely.
And the letters say, the light is forceful and encouraging, yet the force of the hands are the most powerful part. They are of a woman that has worked hard and can now elevate the hands to the sky to give freely to those that open their window and can support them with immense strength that you, Maria Rosa, have forged from your experiences and the long journey through the university without wall, the university of life.
Ah, that was lovely. Thank you. So you wrote from the hands. I love that.
Thank
And
you.
I
Thank you
enjoyed.
so much.
Thank you. I enjoyed how it said your name. It spoke directly to you in that message about your strength and all that you have forged, as it said. That was a lovely message. Thank you. Let's see who we have. Jennifer and then Cindy.
Okay, trying not to overthink. So, it was like the ballerina, mountains, fire, camera, palm trees, bougainvillea.
Uh-huh.
I think I wrote, what I wanted to tell you is that there will be highs and lows, and some will cool and others will be hot. Notice the brilliance and nature all around and let it support you. Let go of judgment and allow yourself to be open to what is.
Beautiful. I always enjoy nature elements. Nature elements speak and tell us to be calm, and they're so nourishing. So I love how that came through in that piece, and that was lovely. Thank you. And I think it was Cindy who was next.
Hey, let me see. Did I
Hi.
unmute? It's telling me to
We
do
can
that.
hear you.
Okay, so I may have not gotten the assignment correctly, but I'll read it anyway because I found this really interesting. Here's mine.
Mhm.
Oh, my background kind of, but not sure
There
if
you
you can
go.
see it.
There you go. Uh-huh.
Okay, so you know, I have dogs and cats, too many of them. I'm one of those hoarder on those things. And they bring me in, you know, they actually call me, even though they drive me insane. You'll see my cat in the background pretty soon because, you know, he does that. But the background of this that was interesting is actually of like an ocean reef.
Mhm.
And right here behind it is a scuba diver and a sea turtle.
Mhm.
But what I noticed is I didn't have room for their pictures because I had to put my pictures, right? So I kind of covered them. And I didn't mean that disrespectfully at all. I meant it as it's really the ocean that encompasses.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
Like you know, I meant symbolically for the scuba diver to be mean because me, not mean, because I haven't been able to do that for years. Pandemic, and now I have a knee injury, and I really want to get back into it. But being out in this ocean allows me to meditate and be present because that's all you can do or you die, right? So literally, you have to think of your breath. All your problems is saying is all your problems stay above, and you
Mhm.
have to pay attention not only to your surroundings but the people around you and have a teamwork and keep everybody else safe
Mhm.
and trust that they're going to keep you safe. So my letter is really short. It's like a couple sentences. It's like what I want to tell, and I was talking to my background like the ocean, so that's why I
Right.
think I did it
Mhm.
wrong. I want to tell you is I love the awe moment and mindfulness that you bring the ocean. I'm grateful for the experience of such of presence and happiness and awe. I'm sorry, I apologize to the turtle, and the scuba diver. I'm sorry I covered the diver and the turtle, but it seems the ocean is what really called my attention the most. And thank you for all of that. So it was great.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I love that, um, going to the background, speaking from the background, the ocean. You can always, and you probably did in the first activity, work with the pets, but then noticing what does the ocean have to offer me as well. And you have a connection to it because you used to scuba dive. So it's just so personalized, you know, to you. And then going into what messages does the ocean have for you. Loved it.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Amy.
So I wrote, wait, let me get, oh, I wrote also from the perspective of the hand.
Mhm.
I'm here to support you, to assist you in turning the pages to see the good chapters of your life, both past, present, and both past, future, and particularly present. Let me hold the shopping bags of life as we go together to a joyful future of family and love.
I love that. I love that line. Let me hold the shopping bags of life. That is rich, very rich. And also, um, when you had showed the card before the first time, I saw the hand and I was like, oh, that'd be interesting to write from. So it's interesting.
Mhm. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Amy. So thank you each. Oh, Pam.
It's okay. One more.
Sure.
Okay. So the road
Oh,
spoke
yeah.
to me.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So it was, my presence is to remind you it is all a journey of twists and turns. It's up to you how you decide to look out the window, where you want to stop, and for how long. Be fearless, enjoy the unknown, sink into it. It's your choice whether to struggle or surrender, whether to feel agitated or serene.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So it's really interesting to see how that flamingo had a lot to say, but then a very small detail on the card had a whole lot to offer as well. I love that. It's so It's a tiny little sliver, but there was so much. So, you know, when you make, as you continue to make cards on your own, you can always do that with your primary image and then take a look and see what else is there that may have a message for you. Thank you, Pam. Wonderful. So in our last like 12 minutes, I would love to now just lead you through a guided visualization. So feel free to, if it feels comfortable, close your eyes, or you can simply soften your gaze, whatever feels best. And starting to just breathe a little more deeply and settle into yourself, surrendering your body into the safety of the chair or floor that is supporting you. And now taking a deep breath in and then letting it go. And another deep breath and letting it go. And now one more and let it go. Just relaxing with each breath. Exhaling any tension that may be making its home in your body or mind. And allowing yourself to be more and more centered and more relaxed. Now, in your imagination, find yourself in an inner sanctuary space, a place or a building that has been created just for you and your inner explorations. Knowing in your very depths that this is a safe and completely secure place for you to go within. And now just walking around for a bit, just exploring this inner sanctuary and noticing anything you see, hear, smell, or feel. There is no right or wrong way. You're just moving around your private sanctuary space. And I invite you now to stop for a moment and look all around you. Find your favorite place in this space. Just looking all around until you find a place that seems to be inviting you. And if you choose to, go ahead and go there now. And as you are looking around this new setting, you notice that there is a large box right next to you. And it looks like a treasure chest. And so now just look at it for a moment, noticing what it's made of, its color, its shape. And then picking it up if you can and holding it in your lap. What does it feel like in your hands? Can you sense any curiosity about what's inside? Inside this treasure chest, there will be many gifts, many treasures that await you. The treasure chest holds all the bright and lovely parts of yourself, all the parts of yourself that you really like, all the parts that others admire and cherish about you. And so I'm inviting you now, if it feels right, to open the treasure chest that is on your lap and see what is inside just for you. Sifting through these gifts, these treasures, these bright and beautiful symbols of your best, most authentic qualities. What are you finding here? Maybe there is compassion, love, creativity, power, blessings, happy memories. Not trying to make anything happen, just letting these treasures show themselves to you. And if you are opening the treasure chest and it appears empty for now, allow that to be okay too. Your particular treasures will make themselves known to you in a different way or at a different time. Knowing that it's all good, whatever is happening, and it's all okay. In just a moment, I'm going to invite you to do one of two things. You can either close the box and set it back on the ground beside you, or you can put your hands out in front of you and imagine the treasure chest shrinking small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. And then imagine opening your heart and putting the chest inside your heart for safekeeping. So doing one of those things right now, setting the chest on the ground or shrinking it to fit in your palm and placing it gently in your heart. And now, still in your imagination, slowly standing up, stretching and breathing deeply in this wondrous space. Then beginning to walk back to the place where you entered your inner sanctuary. And as you step out of this sacred space, if it feels right, find yourself turning around and making a little bow to it, promising it that you will be back, that very soon you will return to see what other gifts this inner sanctuary holds for you. And now making the journey out of your inner sanctuary and back to this time and place, feeling your feet solidly on the floor beneath you, noticing how your chair feels against your legs, and breathing in and out at your own pace as you return to the sound of my voice, to this moment in time. And when you feel fully present here once again, feel free to open your eyes. And so you might want to just in this last one, about a minute, just take a look at those prompts. You might jot down a couple of words that came to you. Feel free, if you'd like, to take a screenshot of that slide and you can journal further with it. And feel free, thank you, Leandra, to place something in the chat, any takeaway that you will be able to carry into your day today from this process. Feel free to go ahead and place that in the chat box. Leandra, solitude, remembrance. Kelsey, a feeling that I'm in my purpose, that I'm okay. Debbie, snow melts with love. Beautiful. Lovely. So I want to just thank each of you for being here today and for participating and sharing so openly and being open to these processes. And I hope to see you and cross paths with you again soon. And just have a wonderful day. And I will turn it back over to Heidi.
Kimberly, so much gratitude for leading us today through this SoulCollage experience. And I want to thank all of you for giving us your presence. We'd like to extend our appreciation for the donors and the LA Department of Arts and Culture who make this series possible. So thanks to them for their support. I did put an email or a link in the chat, and you'll also get it in your email. It's just a brief survey about your experience today. And then in that email will also be a New Year's workshop offer from Kimberly that just looks wonderful. So I am excited to share that with you after the session today. And then we do have a few of our upcoming trainings and hope sessions listed here on the screen. And we also, in the new year, will have a showcase of our best practices for social emotional arts from our certificate program. And this is just going to be a great series. You can attend 1, 2, or all 3 that will really give you kind of a snapshot of the certificate program and really dive into some pieces of social emotional arts practices. So we are excited to bring that to you in the new year as well.